We are live again today. Welcome, Doc.
Thank you very much, Roberto. Nice to
It's
be
always,
here again today.
it's always awesome to have you here.
It's always a pleasure co-hosting this show with you. I'm really happy and excited to be
sharing
here today.
sharing the experience of immigrants here in Finland has been an awesome journey so far. I've learned
Yeah.
a lot from the previous shows that we have had, and I think we're going to have lots of information today from the guests we have today.
Yes, absolutely. We have two amazing, incredible, powerful ladies who will be joining us as guests on the show today. And I can't wait to introduce them.
Of
So,
course,
good.
before we introduce them, let's all rush. I don't rushing, right? I know let's just like I mean have a little bit chat before we bring them on. It's like let's give our viewers like kind of like panic attack to wait for these guys. Oh, you know, anyway, just,
So let's give
just
the climax then. Okay.
yeah. Okay, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to another episode of the show, An Immigrant's Journey in Finland. Today, we are going to be having two incredible ladies who will be joining us to talk about your journeys here in Finland. Our first guest is Emma Tamankag. Uh, Emma Tamankag is a senior lecturer at Laurea University of Applied Sciences. She is also the chairperson of Moniheli Board of Directors, and she is also the co-founder and chairperson of Heat Association Finland.
Wow.
Really nice to have you on the show, Emma Tamankag.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine.
Wow.
Okay.
I know we are going to inspire our guests today by your story. And our second guest tonight is Liz Dangboy. She is a fashion designer and also a creative director at Mimiri.
Welcome, Liz.
Hello, Liz. Hello. Welcome to the show. And good
Greetings.
evening.
Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are our guests on the show today on an immigrant's journey in Finland. So, before we go into the questions, we have so many questions for you guys because based on your experiences here in Finland, based on the challenges that you both have overcome here in Finland. But before we go into all of that, I would just like you to take a moment. I have already introduced you to our guests, but I know I haven't done justice to your persons. So if you can take a moment and tell us in your own words, who is Emma Tamankag? Who is Liz? I'm sure our guests would like to know who you guys are. So please, Emma, the floor is yours.
I think before Emma go say something, let me just like play a little bit something about what she has been doing so far.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Emma, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good evening, fellow viewers at home. I want to thank the host of today's show, the Betong and Dr. Eta, for inviting me to this. I would say very, very important discussion, and it's my pleasure to be here. I'm really glad that we are able to have this a platform and an opportunity to inspire other immigrants in Finland. So you basically introduced me very well, but if it's okay, as you've said, let me just go over that again. My name is Emma Tamankag, and I have lived in Finland for the past 21 years or so. I came here in 1999, and during that time, there were very, very few immigrants like me, especially women. So, and especially from the country, from Cameroon, where I came from, or arrived Finland then. And but anyway, I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Nursing at Laurea University of Applied Sciences. My background is in nursing. I'm a registered nurse, a very proud one, and did that during the time when nobody thought nursing was anything. And I'm very, very proud to say that today a lot has changed. I'm also the chairperson of the board of directors of Moniheli. RU Moniheli is the biggest network of multicultural organizations in Finland. And we have about 140 different cultural organizations as Moniheli members. I'm also the co-founder and chairperson of Heats Association Finland. And thank you, the Betong, for that wonderful, short, I would say, clip. It warms my heart, to see that. Those are some of the things that we've been able to do, and so let's proceed. I think I will leave it at that for now.
Yeah, you've said a lot already that I couldn't capture in my introduction. So thank you. I'm talking about a lot of stage. We'll come back to that topic. But before we do that, let's go on to Liz. Liz, it's really nice to have you on the show. Please, can you kindly introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. It's well, my name is Liz Ndegwa. The N in my name is silent, naturally. We don't know that, so can be very difficult to pronounce. So Liz Ndegwa. And I moved here about 17 years ago. It's quite a long time. Time really flies, and the next time you're like, what is going on? So yeah, I've been here for 17 years. I came initially to study business. I wanted to study IT, but I moved to business. I should have, but I didn't. So after graduating, I felt that I really wanted to pursue something that I had always wanted to do, and that came so naturally to me. And so I moved on to fashion. But I did that after I had my child. Children have a way of awakening you to your real self. So after I had my child, I moved on to fashion, and I had my first fashion show without ever knowing how to sew in 2013. At the Helsinki African Film Festival, which was founded by my friend Wajiko, and also I am now the newest director of the Helsinki African Film Festival. It will be back soon. So basically, yeah, I'm, what else can I say about myself? I have a child. That's a superpower, by the way. Yeah, so yeah, I have one child, and I'm so glad to be here.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm already nodding my head knowing that our cups are going to be filled today with with your amazing journey in Finland.
And I'm glad to be here with Emma. She's one of my favorite people in the world. I mean, I have so much respect for her. And
now I'm jealous.
You inspired Emma, so you're one of those people that I'm very, very, very proud to know. So yeah.
Thank you, Liz. It warms my heart. Thank you.
It's really amazing to know that you ladies came to Finland really early on, and I think at a time when very few of us knew where Finland was. I'll say that, but
maybe I was still on bypass.
Yeah, but just to give some context to this, why did you choose Finland of all the countries in the world? Why Finland? Maybe we start with Liz. Liz, why did you choose Finland?
It's my favorite story, actually. So I was applying for school. I had been to Norway before that to visit friends. And I thought I wanted to study there, but I couldn't get a school there. I applied, but I didn't get in. So, but I had simultaneously applied to Switzerland and Finland, which we got to know about Finland from a friend in Switzerland who was helping us to find the schools there, me and my friend. So when we got the acceptance letters, they all came up about the same time or about a few days apart, and I had been accepted to the schools I got 2 schools in Switzerland, and I got one in Finland. But when I got the brochure for Finland, so I was looking at it and I was like, wow, trees, water, free education, and yeah, I was very, very much pulled by the nature, believe it or not. I love trees, and it's something I've wished that Africa would do more of, planting trees. So I was very, very impressed, and the information technology, so many things were quite impressive. And also it was a lot more familiar to me, being that it was quite close to Norway. That's the only thing I knew about it, that it was close to Norway.
Okay, great.
That's,
Emma, what about you?
that's a
Why
lovely one.
Finland? How did you end up here?
My journey is totally different from Liz's journey. I think you have a beautiful one, but I wouldn't get into the nitty gritties of it. But I think coming from a country where there was basically no hope for the future, you would study and you get out of, you graduate and there's no job for you. I think every young person who was really looking forward to developing themselves and to better their lives and possibly the lives of their families was definitely looking outside, because there was nothing in the country. So that was my drive, and I was ready to go just about anywhere where I would be able to fulfill my real, real potential, or fulfill my dreams and reach that goal that the country where I was born in wasn't able to give it to me. So yeah, so Finland was just one of those countries.
Yeah, I guess most of us can relate to that story, to where you're coming from, deciding where to go, just to leave Cameroon and go to somewhere that you can make something out of your life, or to leave our own different countries in Africa. But talking about where you are now, when you look at yourself, when you came in, was this a life you envisioned for yourself? The life you're living now in Finland? Say maybe career-wise, say maybe following your passion, say maybe involving in community building and all of that.
For me, yes, this is exactly how I envisaged my life. Honestly, even though when I came, I started from zero. I was very young girl. I came here January and I turned 22 in March. So that's how young I was. And the very first time that I left my home and my country, I never lived anywhere. I'm the oldest girl. So I had no opportunity, or my mother wouldn't let me live anywhere else but at home, because I was basically her second, would say her second hand. You know what I mean? So I was the one doing all the things at home. So it was very difficult for me to have that opportunity to go out like others would do, go live with uncles and aunties and live in different country. So of course, leaving your home and coming to a country like Finland that is totally different in all aspects. I mean, the culture, the food, the way people react, the way people behave, the dressing, the weather. I mean, I'm talking of a total 360 degrees turn. Of course, it was very difficult in the beginning. But again, I would say that the things I'm doing today are the things that I had I put down as plan, but how to get there was very gradual. I took them step by step, and I set short-term goals for myself, And every time when I would meet those short-term goals, then I will now move to the next one. And of course, the long-term goals are what I'm basically doing at the moment, or trying to fulfill at the moment.
Well, all right, nice to know. Liz, what about you? If being a fashion designer, what you have planned for yourself, or is something that came as an opportunity that came up and then you took up on it?
Yeah, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I knew that I wanted to be a fashion designer long before I moved to Finland. And actually changing to other things was not my plan, like studying business. As you guys know, before school was free, but there was also very limited courses back then. I think there was business, IT, and nursing in English, and probably hotel management. So there wasn't much really to offer. It was quite, limit. There was limits to what you could study. Then everything else was in Finnish if you wanted to be a doctor or anything else. So basically, yeah, being that school was free, it was all right with me. So after studying business, I thought I'd take the business. I thought I can do that because business is business and everything is business, and it has helped me a lot. And we are natural entrepreneurs naturally in Africa, so it was quite a natural path in that way. But then after graduation, I knew that I was a little dissatisfied with myself. And also, obviously, coming here, you think you're coming for, you're like, I'm coming for greener pastures, or you're going to broaden your perspective, or you're going to, to have exposure and all that. But it was quite a shock. When you get here, you are young, you don't have family, you don't have support, you don't have anyone. So the person that you come to meet is yourself, because then you are battling with the culture, and you don't know how you react to these things. So you start meeting yourself, and it's quite shocking in the beginning to see how you respond to things, because you've been used to home and support and people around you. And then here you are, and you have to make decisions by yourself, and you have all this freedom as a young person, and what do you do with it? And then you have to work and go to school, and it was quite hectic, and it wasn't easy at all. And it wasn't what it is today. It wasn't where you actually have found people quite established. Those who pioneered now are settling into their own establishments, and now you can get a job here and there. We were completely clueless. We were just like, it was crazy. So yeah, it wasn't for me, studying all those things were not my path per se, but it was in a way, because I was inspired by yours truly, Melrose Place. Back in the day, I used to see, I don't know if you guys know the Melrose Place, the program. Yeah, you remember Amanda? That was my thing. I was like, I'm going to own my own company, and I'm going to be this powerful woman, doing my thing. And so I was inspired, because we thought that's how things are. And I thought, everything will be so welcoming. I will study, I will be somebody, and I'll do my master's, and, I'll become this business owner, and I'm going to conquer this whole thing. And yeah, the paths went the way they did. I'm still on the path, but just differently.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What I'm getting from the both of you is that it doesn't matter how long it takes. Once you have a plan, you can always work towards achieving your goals. So have a plan and then work towards that.
Exactly.
So kudos to both of you.
Exactly. Just to add to that, Dr. Eta, what I would say is that it is very, very important to set goals in the beginning, realistic goals, of course. And for me, when I started doing my nursing education, or I started my nursing education, I remember when I told somebody that I'm studying nursing, they were like, "Oh, what are you doing studying nursing?" I mean, nurses are suffering. I mean, the salary is so poor and stuff like that. But for me, I told that person that it's not about the salary, it's about how I feel, because I've always been a humanitarian kind of person from the very beginning. I love taking care of people. I love, making sure that people are okay. So for me, it was a natural place, and it was a natural thing for me to do. But to be honest with you, it wasn't for so many people then. And after that, I remember that a couple of my teachers kept telling me that, "Oh, Emma, you're so good. You should come. You should teach. You should be a teacher." And I told them that, you know what, if I wanted to be a teacher, I would have probably been a teacher in my home country. But my mother discouraged me. When I graduated from high school, I had an opportunity to go to ENS, and my mom said that, "Oh, teachers are so poorly paid in this country. You don't want to be a teacher." And that's how teaching slipped away from my hands. And then I was like, but hey, wait a minute. Probably if my teachers are saying that you would be a very good teacher, and then they probably have seen something that I don't see myself. And that got me thinking as well that maybe I shouldn't just end with working in the field. I should go into teaching as well. And so what I'm trying to say here is that sometimes other people see the things that you don't see yourself. There are certain things that you can do, but others who see you well, they've had things, they've done things with you, they can also guide you through that path. They can tell you that, "I think that you can be good at this," just like as our parents used to guide us. So it is about trusting, people, and making sure that you have the right people, you're surrounded by the right people that can look at you in the eye and tell you the things that you're doing good, and the things that you're not doing well. So it's about that.
Yeah, thank you for adding that. Before I go on, please, the better, don't let me
I've
keep
been, it's like
all these
I've been
questions. So
enjoying. It's like
just
I've
step
just been
in,
enjoying. You know, I mean, this
just
has
step
been
in and ask all the questions that you have, and I'll come in later.
wow, wow. You are, should I say, one of my role model in Finland. I admire your work so much. You are such an inspiration. You're like going through what you do, kind of like give me that hope to know that I can always do the not like the unspeakable or undoable. But now I'm a little bit curious. You mentioned how like before your mom told you couldn't like become a teacher, and finally you are now a teacher. Anyway, you are a senior lecturer, at Laurea University of Applied Sciences. When was that breakthrough? When was that moment that you finally realized that now is the time for me to pursue this goal?
The better. What I want to say is that I think that I was. It's something that was in me, even though I resisted it based on what my mom said. Because even while in Cameroon, I was teaching computer sciences. I was teaching workers, lawyers, and all these big bourgeois, business people who wanted to learn computer. I was teaching them then, but it was at a very, let me say, very small scale. So, but anyway, coming back to Finland, when I graduated from, or I had my first degree, I was working in the field as a registered nurse. And because my language skills were not so good, so I decided to start from, I would say, that elderly home, which is what most immigrants do, because for me, that's the only way that I could kind of develop my language skills and gain confidence. But I also made sure that I took quite much responsibility. I was always willing to step out of my comfort zone and take more responsibilities. Why working as a registered nurse? So my first teaching experience actually in Finland was when I had to teach the documentation program EFICA to newly employed nurses in Espoo City. That was my first teaching experience. And I had to do that in Finnish, by the way. And
Wow.
I remember how well I prepared to have my first lesson. That first lesson, I was basically sweating from my head to my toes. Because I wasn't sure how it was gonna go down. But then I learned, like the Finnish people always say, that hyvin suunniteltu on puoleksi tehty, which means that anything that is well planned, if you plan it very well, is half of it is done. So because I very good lesson plan. It went so well, even though I was nervous. But after that day, I was like, but hey, wait a minute. I didn't die. I'm still standing, even in Finnish. So what would be that difficult to do it in English? Okay. So that was my first teaching experience. But then, like I said, my teachers had always told me that you need to come back. You need to be a teacher, Emma. So after my master's, when I graduated, I had my master's degree. I was still working in the field. I came to work one morning, but then I was working as an assistant head nurse. I came to work one morning and I was just sitting in my office and thinking that, but should I start contacting schools now that I have my master? Should I start contacting some schools to see if it's possible to get a teaching job somewhere? To be honest with you, 30 minutes after that thought, I got a phone call. I mean, 30 minutes. It's no joke. 30 minutes after that thought, I got a phone call. And that call came and it says, Emma, you know what? We need a teacher for geriatrics and gerontology. And we know that you have been an expert nurse in elderly home. You have been also working as a head nurse. You have been working as a nurse. Do you think that you would want to do this? And I'm like, okay, why not? And I'm wondering, but how come you called me? Because I was thinking about this 30 minutes ago. What's going on? And she's like, I asked even her that did did I call you? She said, no, you didn't call me. Because I got confused. I thought maybe I had called her. And I'm thinking, so it was really a chaotic situation for me in my head. But anyway, to cut a long story short, I had that first course. It was just a one credit course that I had. And it went so well. The feedback was unbelievable. You know, the students didn't want me. They were giving me feedback, written feedback, oral feedback, those that were sending feedback to my boss, to the development manager, to all the other teachers. So the feedback was just pouring from every angle, you know. So, but that's how I got into full-time teaching from a one credit course. And that is why I'm telling people that it doesn't matter what takes you there. When you get there, do that work, do that ability, do it as if your life depends on it. You know, don't leave any stone unturned. Just say that, well, it's just this 1 hour of cleaning. So what? Do that 1 hour of cleaning so well that the next time that person will look at that place, they will think about you. So they will call you the next time for a 5 hours cleaning. They will call you for even a permanent job.
Wow, listening to you speak is just like I should just like get myself into your head, to to see what you're seeing. Well, let me go to Ndegwa. Ndegwa. Before I even go deeper to what I want to ask you, I just want to play something a little bit, kind of like 1 minute of
Okay.
what I mean my first encounter with you at the Tatini show art show.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So after the short break, watching the performance you put on that day, I want to ask you a couple of questions based on that.
Okay. Fantastic.
Guys, as you can see, Zans, Tati, Mimiri, Stella Bailin, and Michelle Nadine. What is happening behind the scene? Everyone is doing the thing. Everyone is never seen, something you have never witnessed.
Ndegwa. I mean, this was this was awesome.
Yeah,
Now I know you.
I couldn't see the video for some reason. Did you guys see the video?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't see. Mine was blank.
Oh,
Mm.
sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
is a video you got from the
yeah,
the the Titanium show back. I think
yeah,
it was last year. Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
2019. Yeah,
Yeah. So in the course of that show, what I realized is that you have not only done what you wanted to do, but you have inspired other young people to get into modeling. So how did you do that? How did you come about like bringing people into the space where they discover themselves, that okay, this is what I want to do, and they want to like be part of your whole journey.
yeah. I used to do, I'm very passionate about people and photography and women in general. And so when I see a beautiful woman in the streets, I always, compliment them. And, I'm like, hey, have you been a model before? And, they'll be like, no. And I'm like, you should. And that's how naturally, like sometimes it's like what we were talking about, that other people can see something for you. So I like seeing for other people as well. So whenever I see a person who I think is worthy of, modeling or being out there, I always inspire them and I encourage them to pursue. And I go to great lengths to even photograph them and show them exactly who they are. And one person I'm very proud of is Monica. I think you guys have seen Monica all over the city. I saw
Monica
Monica.
Tor, yeah.
Yeah, she was on her way to I used to do like street photography back then, like street fashion. Before I had my blog, and it was called The Edge Hunter. So I used to go on the streets and I would ask people, hey, can I take your photo? And I saw Monica and I said, you are incredible. And she was like, huh? She was with some women. She was all dressed in, she couldn't even see herself. She had some braids and something. And I said, have you ever thought of modeling? And she said, no. I said, you must. And we exchanged the numbers and I told her what to do, drink water, go exercise, do this, do that. And today she is the girl everyone is after. And I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud that I pulled her out of, her comfort and showed her what she could really become. I really, really chiseled her and, took her, introduced to a few people, and now she is doing exactly what she never thought she would. So yeah,
Yeah.
um,
You also mentioned somewhere that like this is kind of like your, let's say, your mission statement, or kind of like your quotes that you always is kind of like what you go about. You said there is no need to create new dresses, no new design. We just have to create new emotions from the one we already have. So
yeah.
is this how you get inspired, or is this how you go about your designs?
Yeah, my designs are inspired. Basically, all I'm trying to do, there's really nothing new under the sun. So we're not doing anything that hasn't been done before. But what we do, what we bring is perspective. What I'm bringing is my own perspective, is how I want to see the world, is the thing that I see that is missing in the world. That's what I bring. So we are all bringing something fresh. We are all looking at different gaps in the society and we're filling them up. But what I say is that people don't need new clothes. We don't. You have so much. We all have so much. But what we need over time is new emotions. So that is what I'm trying to bring with my clothes. It's for people to feel new emotions, because we don't need clothes. We don't. We have quite a lot that they are filling up landfills in Africa and different spaces. You know what's happening. It's one of the worst industries in the world, unfortunately. In like destroying the environment, we are quite number one. It's something that I have to think about all the time. So, when I'm creating, I have to think about the environment and I have to look at the impact that I am having as an individual. And so that is why I'm encouraging people also to even recycle and like go to secondhand markets. You get to find really good fabrics there, and you know, so because of the impact I've seen that fashion has on the environment, that's why I'm saying, yeah, we don't need new clothes, we just need new emotion.
Okay. Doc, do you have more questions for them? I'll come back later.
Yes, of course I do. I have so many questions. I don't even know which one to go first with. But really, but based on what you guys have said about your journeys in Finland, I get it that you are in a place where I feel you're comfortable, especially when it comes to your career, to your careers. Um, but I want to believe that it wasn't easy getting there. So I would like to talk about the challenges that you ladies, face on the way, trying to maybe transition from study to work, or just trying to find your place within the job market. So if I can start with you, Emma.
Thank you so much, Doc, for that question. Of course, there are always challenges, especially when we are talking about mothers, right? We are talking about career women. We are talking about women who want to excel. There are always challenges. For me, um, I'm a mother of four, and I've had all my education. Actually, I had my first daughter before I started my nursing education, just a couple of months before. She was born in June and I started in August. So basically, from her until all the four kids were born, I was kind of shuffling between school, work, motherhood, school, work, motherhood. It was never easy. It was never easy. A lot to think about, prioritizing, sometimes compromising, you know what I mean? But always making sure that you don't compromise the well-being of the family.
Yeah.
And I have to say that the challenges were in different folds. For me, the biggest challenge that I had was when I wanted to do my master's. Because for the other things, that was pretty easy because my husband, whom I respect so much, has been like an angel. I mean, very, very cooperative, very understanding, has been the brain behind me being where I am or being able to do the things I do. But when it came to that point when I felt like I want to further my education, I looked around me and I couldn't find any possibility of doing that. And my only options were, okay, well, do I want to go to Tampere? Do I want to go to Turku? Do I want to go out of the country? But what am I supposed to do with all the kids? What am I supposed to? I mean, is it easy to displace myself? What about my financial situation? I'm working. So I had to think about all these different things and then settle on what was available for me at that point. Okay. And so when I had my master's, I got it from Laurea University of Applied Sciences. I was very, very eager to further my education. I graduated, I had my master's in 2008. That's when I got my master's. And already after working from 2008, after my master's, I felt like it's time for me to move forward. And I wrote my first PhD proposal in 2013. That's the first time that I wrote it down. I mapped out everything and I put it down that this is time for me to go forward, to climb the ladder of education, because I think that there's a lot more that I can do. And there were so many roadblocks. There were so many roadblocks on the way. And I remember even one evening that I had to really like cry, like literally cry, and ask myself that why should I be I felt like I'm being punished because I'm a mother or because I'm a woman and I want to further my studies. And the fact that you have a family, you're kind of grounded somehow, you know. And it was it was very difficult, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't be belabor that point. But when it comes to the family, we're talking about 4 children, right, in this country. And you have to make sure all of them are having hobbies. I remember the times when I would leave work, I pick the kids, they are eating in the car. I have to take them to play tennis. I come home, I have to, my husband will pick them from the parking. I have to go to another work. The next morning, we are switching places, changing, it was very challenging because one, you have to take care of yourself here. You have to take care of the family back home. You have to make sure that your kids are also well taken care of. They're having hobbies. You don't joke with that. You don't want a situation where your child go to school tomorrow and the others are saying that, I play this, I do this, I go on holidays in this place, and your child doesn't do any of that. It doesn't, it makes them feel really, really inferior. So it's very important to also make sure that you provide all these things so the kids can feel very uncomfortable. Sorry, they can feel very comfortable amongst their peers. So all of this, it was so, I would say, financially also very, very difficult for us. And I'm sure that I'm speaking for so many families as well here who have to, navigate through these difficult situations and work, school, career, and all these things. So, but I would say that I'm very poor with talking about challenges. I'm sorry, Dr. Etta, I might be turning around circles because I honestly I'm one of the persons that I sometimes hate to even think about challenges. I just feel like you have to keep going. You get to the bridge, you cross it. You get to the bridge, you cross it, and always when there is the will, God will give you the way. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to think about challenges. Let me just keep going and going and forget about challenges. Because somehow I feel like those challenges, if you don't handle them very carefully, they will either make you or they will break you. Do you get the point? Those challenges will either make you or they will break you. And I refuse, and I've deliberately refused from the very beginning that challenge would be something that will break me. I have had difficult moments. People sometimes only see the success, but they don't see they don't see the troubles. They don't see the things. There are times when I would be even in a room for a week. I wouldn't want to go outside because of all different kinds of difficulties, that I would probably not want to get into right now. But the important thing is, how do you get past those challenges? And it takes me back to the fact that you have to set goals. You have to set goals, and you have to be prepared that there will be hurdles. If you are not emotionally, mentally, that there will be hurdles, whether we're talking about job, whether we're talking about making a family, whether we're talking about a career, always remember that as long as you're having goals, there will be hurdles. So be prepared for them. And when those difficult moments come, you're already prepared. So it's easier to then get over them. But I really don't want to talk much about challenges. I feel like it's gonna, take the good part away. But it's good to talk about them anyway. But I wouldn't dwell much on them.
But thank you so much. I think you've approached this from a very positive angle, which I really like. Liz, what about you? I don't know if you are like Emma, who doesn't like to talk about challenges, but I think that our audience would also like to know, like, tangibly, what is it concretely? What are some of those challenges that you face on your way of becoming a fashion designer? And how can all of them learn from this? Maybe there are some people out there who also want to be where you are now, and they are finding it really difficult. So if you can just talk us through these challenges and how you walked your way through this, that would really be helpful.
Yeah, I'm very much like Emma because I do not enjoy talking about challenges. I do feel naturally they are there, but we can use them to shape. I mean, they are part of the journey.
Yes.
There is no way of separating that from your journey. There's no it depends on how you take them. Are you taking them as, oh my goodness, you know, or are you seeing, oh, what is this teaching me about myself? That's how I see challenges. That's how I view my challenges, not all the time. Of course, it's a place that I have arrived to where I'm now looking at my challenges as, what is this thing trying to tell me about myself? Not even about other people or about this or about that, but about myself. What is this teaching me about myself and how I'm responding to it? And what area of my life do I need to fix? So basically, I feel like challenges are part of shaping us as we become. There's a quote that I really like by Jim Rohn. He says, make a million, not for the million, but for the person you become. So because by, you know, as you're pursuing, as you're planning your goals, as, you know, as Emma is walking us through her path, we are seeing it's bit by bit. It's like, okay, let me apply for my master's now, you know, but overall, when you look at the whole thing, it looks like, wow, what an achievement. But then it's step by step. It's making a step and thinking, I want to do this now. I want to do this now. And then it becomes a whole, but it can only be done in parts. And in those parts, there are struggles.
Mhm.
But they are not struggles that are meant to break you down, but they're to make you better, because basically you're facing challenges as you're walking towards your goals. So I have had my challenges, but I think the greatest challenge that one can face on this earth is people around you being unsupportive, especially a partner. As you can see from Emma's side, her husband has been a key support on her journey. And these are very important things. This is the only thing I can say without saying much, that the people you surround yourself with, or the people that are around you, can make or break you as you are going to pursue your goals. So for me, little things like, you know, I have been a single mother throughout the time. So that has been a tremendous challenge in its own. So not having a partner who is supportive, or having a partner there who supports you is something else. And also, it also happened quite as I decided I want to become a fashion designer. And then I started focusing, you know, when you find this new passion, you become very passionate about building something. When you're building something, some people around you might even think that you don't care about them. But it's not that you don't. You're thinking, I do have this foundation, and therefore from this foundation, I can spring forth. But then people around you, if they start feeling like this foundation is being shaken by your ideals, it becomes threatening to the people around you, the thing that you're trying to do, and they feel like, oh, are you meaning that you're going to neglect this situation because you now are pursuing a career? That can break the very foundation of you, and it can set you back so far. So your journey can be, you can start taking detours because of things like that. It could be anyone. It could be a family member. It could be a husband. It could be a wife. It could be anyone really stifling your growth. So those kind of things, for me in the beginning, was the greatest challenge when my relationship fell apart just when I was beginning my journey. And now I have a small child, and the first thing I'm thinking about is, shoot, I am now a single mother. I had a plan for a family. I didn't have a plan for single motherhood. So that means now I'm simultaneously learning how to be a single mother, and how to pursue a career, and how to find a babysitter every now and then, how to persuade even a person close to you to take care of your child so you can do something, but they're unwilling because sometimes the goal of that person is to completely be unsupportive of you. So people around you can completely stifle your growth. And that is, I think, one of the most dangerous thing that can happen to your goals is a person.
Wow.
Because you can bet on yourself, right? You can bet on yourself to keep going. But when you're expecting, when you're in a situation where you're expecting that support and then it's not given to you, that can break you tremendously. We have seen it happen with parents or somebody. Someone says, I can sing, and then someone makes a comment and you never sing again because someone made a comment, someone very close to you. So our family members, our people very close to us, they can completely demolish your desire to do something or to move forward in life, or they might really stifle your growth to a point where you have to take a detour, where you could be so close to something, but then you're forced to take a detour. For me, it takes a very long time to recover from something, like a breakup or something. It takes me a long time. So that, I can say, has been the thing that really pulled me down from my path for quite a long time. And it put me in a very depressive state. So I was depressed for a while because I didn't have a plan I didn't have a manual for single motherhood. So I was learning as I was going, and I don't know how I'm doing it, and I'm doing it, and I kept doing. So that was quite a tremendous challenge. But somewhere along the way, I woke up and I was like, you know what? It's not the end of the world. And so,
Wow,
and
thank you.
Wow. This is awesome. Like
That is
hearing this.
deep. That
This
is
is
deep.
deep.
Thank you for
You know,
sharing that.
thanks for
you're
That is
sharing.
deep.
And
If
add to that, Doc, and the Betong, that those challenges, like Liz put it in a really nice way, they are not there to break us. It, like I said, it is up to that individual what they want to make out of that. It's you know, life is full of ups and downs, right? Because it's so unpredictable. It is
Mhm.
unpredictable. There's nothing as a sure thing in this life. It means
Yep.
that we should always be ready for or situations that are uncomfortable. But again, what I think we need to do is that every time that we find ourselves in a challenging situation, personally, what I think I do is that I sit back and reevaluate the situation. Look at even myself in the mirror. Ask myself, what is it that I am doing wrong? What is it that I could have done to make this better? What are the plans for the future? How can I get it? If it means stepping out of my comfort zone, yes, that's what I'm gonna do. But what I refuse to do is to fall and lie on the ground as if somebody's gonna wake up, or God is gonna just get you up from the ground. You're gonna have to get up yourself, dust yourself off, and then you move on. And
Yeah.
use those challenges as a learning curve, because there are
Mm.
always lessons. There are always lessons in each and every one of those challenging situations. And I don't let those pass. I don't let a situation like that pass by without me writing down the important things that I have learned and how I plan to make them better in the future. But don't get me wrong, challenges will always be there. They are part of who we are as human beings. And with the world becoming even more complex, the challenges are also, they are also bigger and becoming more complex. So we should expect them. But we keep forging.
yeah,
One,
that's I want to go to the comments. Let's check out the comment first. What the viewers have been saying so far. Before we continue. If you don't mind, I'll just like read some few comments.
no,
Okay, okay. Yeah, you want to say something? It's okay.
no, I
After what?
wanted to say, no, please go on and read the comments. I'll get to the question later. It was
Okay.
just a follow-up, but please go to media.
Christabel is saying, yes, Mama Miss, I can relate. I always dreamt continuing my studies abroad after my bachelor's degrees. Also, we have Teresa. She said, Emma, I am curious. You are giving a lot here in Finland. Have you at some point thought of how to give back to your country? If yes, have you faced any challenges? Are there any tips or advice on that? I think Emma, you should answer that before we continue. reading the comments.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Doe, for that question. It's a fair question. It's a question that I have I've asked myself as well. But yes, we're planning something. My goal. This is what I've always told anybody that I've had an opportunity to have a deep discussion with. That it doesn't matter how far I go with this country, if I don't give something back to my people, and when I mean my people, I don't mean necessarily just Cameroon, I'm looking at Africa in general. That is where I will be satisfied. So it doesn't matter the level I get if I don't give back home. So giving back home is my number one priority. And I would say that at this point, I am arming myself. There are things that I do at a very small scale, but I'm arming myself. And I can guarantee you that I have never set my eyes off the ball. And home is where I am looking at. Whatever I do now is preparing me for the plan that I have for Mother Africa. I can say that with all certainty, because that is when I will be fully satisfied. Because I always say that coming to a country like this, I've been educated. I'm blessed, just like all of us living here, that we've been provided with free education, with a good healthcare system, network, and just about anything we have, security we have. It's just natural to think about the people back there in Africa. And I'm constantly thinking about that. But I can tell you, and I hope that everybody's thinking the same way I do, that we arm ourselves, but we should not set our eyes off the ball, that home is the place where we will definitely be creating the biggest impact. But you cannot fly in the flight. You have to prepare yourself to get there.
Wow. Teresa also says very pertinent points there. Liz, I can relate to the meeting yourself. Teresa also says short-term goals, long-term impact, and vision. And Christabel, okay, she says that's right, Mama Miss. She also said,
Ems.
wow, Mama Miss, you are
Mama
a force.
Ems.
Okay, Mama Ems. Mama Ems, you are a force to reckon with, and I truly admire your power, your prowess. You inspire us to do more and keep those dreams alive. Thank you. Wow. Also, from Teresa, she yes, girl, I love this. I should revisit my sewing machine and have a chat with you. I think it was when Liz like mentioned about her journey. Um, we have also Christabel says again, um, Liz, Liz is such a Liz is such a work of art herself. I first met Liz at a Cameroonian. We had a chat and shared some healthy thoughts. A warm woman she is. I love her work. Keep going, Liz. Doc, maybe we can continue from there. We'll read the next comment, the rest of the comments afterwards.
I think based on the comments coming in and based on the stories, your stories that you have shared, some of them are really deep, and I really admire your strength to keep moving despite the challenges. Like you all said, challenges are not meant to break us, right? We learn the lessons and then we move on. And one thing I really like about the stories that you both are sharing today is that it gives hope. Your stories give hope to so many people. So I know the story of you being a single mom resonates with so many other people. Emma, your own challenges that you wouldn't want to call them challenges also resonate with so many people. So I'm really happy that we are having this chat here today just to give hope and inspire so many people who are maybe thinking of giving up. But let's move on. What I know, you, Liz, you're a fashion designer and a creative director, and you, Emma, you are a senior lecturer. So what does it entail to be a fashion designer, a creative director, a senior lecturer? What do you need to do to become this?
Liz or
So
Ruby?
Liz, if you can start, please.
I was thinking ladies first. No.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you can start. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So basically, we know how it goes here in Finland. That you, for you to be to teach in the University of Applied Sciences, of course, you need to have a minimum of a master's, and you need to also, or you must have completed your pedagogic studies. So you need to go to one of the universities or University of Applied Sciences and do your pedagogy or teaching pedagogy. So you need to have that. But that's not all it takes. To be honest with you, that's not all it takes. You need the language. You need Finnish language. I wouldn't shy away from that. I work in an institution where we have at least 400 and maybe 20 staff members, and I'm the only uh, immigrant woman, not to even talk of it, African woman, right?
Mm.
I teach in English mainly. I don't teach in Finnish nowadays anymore. But basically, all the meetings that I have, they are in Finnish. So it's not enough that you are able to speak English, you're able to teach in English. You should be able to be part of the team. You should be able to, attend those meetings, contribute, be a team player, and do all the things that the others are doing. So I would say that the language is a very big part of it, at least in my institution. But what I would say is that it's about setting goals. I still always go back to goals. What do you want in life? What do you want? And what are the steps to get there?
Mm.
Set those goals, make findings, make sure that you give your best every time you have an opportunity to do something. Respect those that are already there. You understand? Because there's a lot that has to do with our own attitude as well. To be honest with you, there's a lot that has to do with our own attitude. How do we conduct ourselves? Some of us are so full of complaints. We complain every turn. We are never satisfied with anything. We get to a working environment, we start complaining from the day we got there to the day we're gonna leave. It doesn't help in any way. It doesn't help. Positive attitude would take you a very, very long way. It would take you far away. It doesn't matter where you even start. Like I said, I started with a one credit course, but it is not just because of the fact that I was able to deliver excellently, but there were other things that were also involved. My attitude played a very big part. My language skills played a very big part as well. So it's a combination of many things, my dear. But I would say that every individual should first of all have it as a goal and ask themselves, what do I really want? If you want to become a teacher, please, you should, because we need more. We need more nursing English speaking teachers. But don't forget that it's important to also learn the language. We are in Finland. We cannot get past it at all. We cannot get past it. I know there are certain studies or certain education programs where you can basically, or certain universities where you can manage without Finnish, but then you will be limited as well, because it's one thing that you get into that workplace and you want to grow in it. You want to get to the next level. For instance, in my institution, I'm now the coordinator, the person that coordinates all the clinical placements. You want to grow in that institution, you want to grow in that work that you're doing, but you need to be able to understand and work with the people in that language as well. So I'm saying this to encourage everybody that is living here, that please take the language very seriously. It's about time we quit blaming and putting the blame on things that are not really important, or putting the blame where it doesn't belong to. Let us arm ourselves. I say arm yourself before you get there, then you will climb.
Okay. Liz, before you respond, I think let me add three questions from the viewers that will
Okay.
maybe you answer them when you respond to
Absolutely.
Elizabeth's question. Elizabeth says, Liz, what's your biggest challenge as a woman in an industry that is so versatile? And also, she says, Liz, you have talked about creating new emotions. What kind of emotions do you put in your creation? We have from Teresa Bilola. She says, Liz, what has been your greatest challenge? I think you already mentioned some of them, and point of success getting into the fashion industry. Yeah, I guess in Finland. So maybe just couple with what you have said, and you can
Yeah.
continue.
All right. Right. I think my again, it's so funny to talk about challenges. It all comes again to challenges, and yeah, I think yeah, I think wow, it is. I didn't know it was so difficult to talk about challenges for me like this, because it's funny how I look, I look at things very differently from where I'm sitting. For me, I look at my life as a journey. I look at my life as a designer, as a journey. So whatever I'm facing along the way, any no's, any people discouraging me, all of that, I see it as a step to move forward. That it's like God is telling me, like, aim higher, like keep going to the top. Because yeah, it's that's how I'm facing my challenges at the moment. I look at them as I already have a goal of who I am and who I am going to be, and my job is actually to show the world. It's, for example, as a director, as we were talking about, what does the job entail? My job is to actually kind of bring all my vision into reality, for you guys to understand, for those on the outside to understand my vision. My job is to every day kind of create something and say, this is where I'm going, this is how I'm going, and and this is where I want to be. So my job is every day to kind of bring all the concepts, everything that I want, the branding, the ideas, the association of the brand, to show where am I going, who is going to associate with this, and who is going to be my clientele. So my job is to show every day with my own creations, I am saying something, and I am showing the direction that I'm heading to. So my job is to steer everything into that direction, no matter what I face. So how I'm facing the challenges here is that it's so funny when you come into something, you realize that there is actually no place per se. There's no like a collective place that you can go and say, I have arrived and this is where. There is no place to arrive. You get it? There's nowhere to go. It's like there's almost no industry. In a way, like industry is almost an illusion, because what happens is when you enter, then you start seeing, oh, this is a playing field. Like you decide where you become, you get it in everything. Even when you start an organization, you're thinking, wow, it's a world of organizations out there. And then when you go, you realize that everything is almost standing somewhere that is not quite somewhere, that it's there, and you find your footing, and you're free to establish yourself as you wish, and you're free to find your own kind of tribe, if I can say that. So it's up to you to go as far as you want or as little as you want. So the challenges that I've been facing is probably myself. I am the biggest challenge towards my goals, because the world is open. I feel like it's a field out there. Like Emma has covered some of these things. She's like, if you want to arrive to a destination, all you need to do is put some work in. So I am the biggest challenge to myself in getting to my goals and in getting to those spaces that I can, because my attitude will determine how far I go and where I go. So my attitude might be one of the biggest challenges in how I'm responding to where I'm going. I don't have a bad attitude at all. I am a very positive person and I believe the best, but I do feel like we can be one of the biggest challenges that we face out there, because in everything it's about how am I responding to things? How am I looking at things? How am I looking at challenges that are on the outside of me. How am I navigating the marketplace? How am I navigating people? And so on. So that is I can be my biggest challenge. How far do I want to go? Am I working hard enough? That is my challenge. I feel like, am I working hard enough? Am I doing as much as I should or I could to get to where I'm going? So I would say that I see myself as one of the biggest challenges to conquer because of my own complacency and things like that, and my own, slacking, and maybe something happens and then you're like, I'll get back to that later. So I am my biggest challenge. I think I am the person that I'm trying to conquer, not the world.
Wow. Wow, I think that's deep. Let's go away from challenges. Let's face some good things.
Before you go there, Debeton, please, kindly, I wanted Liz to answer me this question. Can you please just talk us through your journey of becoming a fashion designer or creating your own brand? What does it take to do that?
Okay.
The first thing, I always give credit to my friend whom she was asking me, because for me, I was interested in working for the UN. That was my ultimate job. I wanted to be a humanitarian something. I mean, that was my dream. I was that, I wanted to speak at TED. Like, I wanted to be this woman, who is like wearing nice, powerful suits and, going to UN meetings. I wanted to change the world. That's who I've always wanted to be. But then I started my first organization. I think it was, the timing wasn't right at the time, and I called it Iron Sharpens Iron. And for me, it was a platform I had created for young women, for leadership for young immigrant women. But the immigrants were not ready, so I was like, okay, never mind. So I would ask these women, can I have your child come to this event? And some started their own silly events, and it didn't go as planned. But for me, my goal was to really inspire. Because back home, we have presidents who we can see ourselves back home. You have a minister, you have Minister of Health is probably a woman. You have all these people to look up to. But here, as immigrants, we cannot see ourselves. So I wanted to bring that closer. I wanted to be able to I was creating a space where women, we can bring all these women from outside who can come and inspire these children here to still dream about becoming something. So to be able to see themselves from a higher perspective. But then, so I started this organization, and it went quite well. I was pregnant at the time, and it went quite well. I was doing it under the British Council, and it was gonna go somewhere. But I remember somewhere along the way, then I thought, okay, well, is this the real way to go? Because I thought, do I want to apply for funding my whole life? Like, hey, give me some money. I want to make a change in the world. Then I thought, I think the best way is to completely be myself. So, and my friend asked me once, she said, if you didn't have money problems, if money wasn't a problem at all, what would you do? I said, I would use fashion as a healing tool. And she said, wow. So she was like, how? I was like, well, I don't know, somehow. I wanted to have my own like fashion, like a show or something. I've always thought maybe I could have like a show to teach people how to dress and find their style and find themselves. Because I do believe that your style is tied to your personality, to who you are. I believe that when you find your style, you settle into yourself. You find yourself when you find your style. So then she said, can you design? I said, absolutely. She said, design one dress, So then, like Emma was saying, when I decided to become a fashion designer, I remember this girl, I was telling her, oh man, she said, I've been to, I was studying fashion, but not anymore. I want to study nursing. And I was like, that's amazing. I've always wanted to be a fashion designer. And I remember she called me, like after I decided, okay, yeah, maybe I should. I would like that. She gave me all her stuff. She said, I have a mannequin, I have a sewing machine, I have everything that you would need to become a fashion designer. She brought everything to my house, just like that. It's what they say, the universe conspires to help you. So she brought that. Then this, my friend, family friend from Seinäjoki, she sent a sewing machine from Seinäjoki through Matkahuolto. And those things, they sat in my living room for 1 year. I was afraid to touch. I was looking at the sewing machine and I was like, this looks so complicated. I'd never touched the sewing machine before. And so I was like, man, and every day I would think about it for a whole year. It was collecting dust. And I would go look at it and I would think, where do I even start? I don't even know how to thread. I don't know anything. It took me a long time to know where to put a bobbin. I don't know what was where. It took me a long time. Then my friend was once like, put something on the mannequin, design something. I designed and I sent her a photo. And then she said, design another one. And I kept doing it and I was getting so excited, but I didn't know how to sew. So then I started learning how to, you know, trying to sit on the machine, and I felt so much power. And I tell you, my living room was quite a mess. It was full of small pieces of fabrics. And then I thought, let me go now find a school. So I went to Helsinki Design School. I went to their website. There wasn't so much information there. So I went there, and I remember this man holding the door and like this, because I went with my baby. And then he said, you can go back to the website. You can find everything there. I said, I would like to come to the reception and find more information because I want like one-on-one. You know how we are as Africans. Don't tell me, oh, take north, go through west, take this street. I want you to tell me, go near the white church, just beside it. You know, we like to get information like that. I don't want street west, east, south. I want you to tell me, come meet me near, it's near the white church, or, you know, we like information like that. Spoon feed me. So I said, I want to talk to somebody. It's not enough that I'm on the website. I would like to talk to somebody. And I remember he's like, go to the website, and he shut the door. And then I was like, wow, he was very unbecoming, very unbecoming. So I left, I was with my baby, and I remember like my whole body was on fire. And I went home and I said, what do I really want? Then I said, this man is the man who fueled everything that I wanted. That's when a door is shut in front of you and people say no, that's when you know what you really, really want. It's actually the people who say no that help you the most, because they make you understand what you really want and how badly you want it. So I went ahead and I said, I am going to learn everything there is about this craft. And I sat down, and I remember my friend had told me, you need your first show. I remember I commissioned this girl, and she was so upset with me later. When she gave me the quotation, she was like, that would be 600 euros. I said, I don't even have the budget. I didn't have the plan. My friends were buying the fabrics. They just brought the money. They're like, take this 500 euros. They were really, really, really wanting me to do this. So they came up with money. They're like, take this 500. I was home with my child. So I was on that, you know. So I went, and I was on my maternity leave. So I went and bought some fabrics in Estonia, and I came back. And I remember we sat down with this lady. She was not an actual seamstress. She was someone who had learned how to repair. So basically she knew how to sew. So we sewed together, and I remember I told her, well, I'll make mention of your name at the event. And when I was given the mic, I didn't know what I was talking about. Because after the show, it was actually a public show in Campi. So when I was given the mic, I was like, shoot, I didn't know what to say. This is a person who I could not even public speak. By public speaking, I mean emails with my friends. I never answered group emails. I was the quiet member of group emails. And even group chats, they freak me out after today. It feels like public speaking. So when I was given the mic, I was like, oh my goodness, what do I say? So I forgot to mention this girl's name, and she was so upset with me. She wrote me an email and she said, you didn't even mention my name. And, you know, I sewed with you. And I was like, oh my goodness. Then she sent her boyfriend to harass me about the money, you know. So she decided this, her Finnish boyfriend is the one who is going to be the debt collector of the money. So she was harassing me. I'm on this motherhood salary from you know, because I decided to take 3 years off and, you know, with my child, and she was harassing me. He was harassing me. I stopped talking to them because I was like, absolutely not. She's an African girl, but she decided I am going to send my husband or boyfriend. It was her boyfriend. So her boyfriend would send me these angry emails all the time. Hey, where's the money? I haven't not, you know, it's like 5 days before. It's like, make sure you pay the money. Da, 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 da. So he would keep pushing. And okay, eventually I paid the money, and but that was the end of our relationship. But then I was looking at that. Some people don't know how to build. We as Africans, mostly, we don't know how to build relationships. That is the thing we don't know. And I have seen it with my Finnish friends. We traders. You know, they will be like, you can make me a dress, I can do photography for you. We trade. That's how Finns work. They're team players. They work together, something that we don't have. We try to bring each other down. When I have something, I don't want to give it to you. And I could give it to you, and we trade, and that could build a long-term relationship. You know, I reached to a point where I could give her a lot more, but she wasn't there. She wasn't present because she had, you know, my humble beginnings to her, she had completely brought me down. So when I'm saying that I faced some challenges, now you can hear there are quite many to mention, you understand? So now, from then on, I was like, I'm going to learn this craft. And I did, and I applied for courses everywhere, and I started learning how to do it. I went online, I did everything that I could, and I started designing. And still, I didn't believe in myself, but I did at the same time. But then I didn't, you know, because I was alone now. And then I had a breakup followed by a breakup. It was much, it was a lot. And then that took me out for like 3 years. I was depressed. I'm like, I'm a single mother, you know, the world is going to, you know, so it was crazy. Because I had just come from a divorce, and now I was a single mother, and I was like, this confirms everything that, you know, people will think, wow, people started saying she can't keep a man. Married women decided they didn't want to be friends with me because, you know, I might influence them to get a divorce. I don't know. But so it was crazy. It was, I faced a lot of challenges and stigma also from the community for you know, divorce, and then shortly after being a single mother. So it was many things. So I've always like done my things alone. I've always kept my own counsel, really. It is, I am the only person I can bet on, and I do not appreciate, you know, other things. You have to keep your environment very clean so you can be able to pursue your dreams, because you don't want noise. So I don't like noise. I don't bring noise into my space. The only noise I appreciate is positive people. So I do not bring noise and people that I cannot trust with the information. If I have to be careful when I'm talking to you as a friend, then you are not my friend. So yeah, basically.
Wow, that's deep. Wow. It's like we should just allow you, like, you know, just speak, and we say, okay, the show is over for today.
You know how I'm inspired.
You are such an inspiration, you
I
know.
was
Yeah.
thinking, I'm in the audience. Emma is thinking, I am in the audience, and I'm like, I am so inspired, and what she says is so evident, because
Yeah.
I saw the first, for me, experience of Emma is her putting the Cameroonian community together. And so I know that she is for the people, you know,
About
the
that,
poor. And
yeah.
it was amazing.
About that, that brings me to Emma. You know, you you are you are a co-founder of HIT Association in Finland,
Yeah.
and basically this association has been doing a lot, you know, and I believe there's still a lot to be done in the future. But what really inspire you to, first of all, get started with this organization HIT in Finland? What inspired you?
Thank you very much, De Betong. HEAT Association Finland was born out of need. You know, I sat down, it was a Sunday morning, and I was thinking, in all honesty, I was like, I have been lucky, to acquire knowledge, right? I have a family, I have a job, and I started asking myself that what is the legacy? What is it that I can give back to this country that has given me a lot? And naturally, the first thing that came to my mind to look at the African community and health, education, and the integration, which are all things that are very, very close to my heart. Those things popped up in my mind. Like, this is it. It's not about money for me at all. It's about touching lives. It's about creating an impact. Because what I also realize is that I have all this knowledge when it comes to taking care of yourself because I'm in the health sector. I have all this information, educational system in Finland, because not only have I gone through it, I had 4 children that have been through it. So I understand it very well. But there are so many of our brothers and sisters out there who do not have or are not opportune to the same information. And that is why it was born.
Wow.
People ask, why did you choose the name? I remember one of the seniors asked me, why did you choose the name Eid? I said, yes, we ponder on this for a while. And the name Heat came from the meaning of the word itself. From the meaning of the word itself. What we are trying to do is to help immigrants, especially targeting African immigrants, to be able to be, take total control over their health, not only health, but education, also to be able to integrate fully into the society, to feel as if Finland is their own home as well, that they are not strangers here. So it means that we are looking at all the different fabrics of the society and making sure that the voice of the voiceless are heard.
Wow. You mentioned also that I quote, immigrants still have a long way to go. Can you explain a bit more? Because I know you mentioned African community. The African community is more of and like everyone want to do their own thing, like on their own. It's like I'm comfortable where I am. I don't want to come closer to you. It's like when I come closer to you, kind of like setting kind of my secret to you, like what like Liz mentioned in what she was saying. But now, how can you, or what tools have you put in place to actually bring the African community together as the Indian community and other communities here in Finland? Because this is one of the reasons why I think we, us Africans, are not growing in terms of like generally in terms of like in all the sectors here in Finland. So, what tools have to put in place, or do you want to put in place to help us Africans here in Finland to grow in every sector?
We have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. And you have mentioned something that I think is very, very important to emphasize, that we are not each other's keeper. We are not each other's keeper. There are times when I have felt like, should I blame us Africans for being who we are? Why is it that we cannot benchmark what the Indians are doing, what the Jews are doing? What is wrong with us? And every time I think about it, it takes me to the fact that we are still suffering from what the colonial master, we are where the colonial masters wanted us to be. We think we are free, but we are chained. We are still in, we have to break the colonial chain. What I mean is that we have to decolonize our minds.
Absolutely.
Our minds are still so much colonized.
Wow.
We have to. And I can tell you for a fact that it is until we decolonize our minds that I can look at you as a brother, as a sister, and say that, you know what? Let us for once think that the way we've been doing things is because of the way these people want. This is how these people wanted us to behave. This is where they wanted us to be. So it is time for us to turn the tables around. Support each other. Unfortunately, I can tell you for a fact that the events I have been organizing, even events that are for helping immigrants, African immigrants, free health checks, giving you guidance. There are people that basically came to some of the health checks and we had to send them to the hospital immediately.
Wow.
Their basic, their values were unbelievably high. They had no idea about what that meant. They had no idea. They had ignored all the symptoms. They didn't even think that going to a hospital would mean anything. They had zero trust of the healthcare system. So basically, we had to tell them that immediately when you leave here, go to a hospital for proper, intense checkup because you're not looking good. I am not talking about 5. I'm not even talking about 10 people. I'm talking about more than that number in the different events that we've had. Now, my question is, how many of us are even taking advantage of that? To say this is free. Oh, some people will say that, oh, should I go there? I go there, Mama Ems, I raise her up. And I'm like, how where do I want to go? For crying out loud. What is it that I really want? So people don't even see that what we are doing is like giving back to the communities. It's giving back 100% to the communities, making sure that you have a legacy, making sure that if the Indians, the Jews, you have to start somewhere. But every time you start something like this, you get a shot, a door that is slammed on your face because of the way our people behave. But my encouragement to every one of us and those that are listening is that we should never give up. We should never give up. When you have a conviction, and this is what I keep telling people, it doesn't matter how many lives you change. Even if you change one life, you should be very satisfied. You get the point? It doesn't matter how many. Provide information to one person that changes your life. You should be very happy about that. But we have to start making, I call them baby steps. Communities, African communities need to come together. African communities need to understand that we are still in the shackles of our colonial masters. Our colonial past is still haunting us even to today. That is why we want to make sure that everybody goes down. We feel as if we are in a jungle, that it is survival of the fittest. As we are lions, I need to kill you before so I can get the hyena. So it doesn't work.
This is serious, yeah.
This is serious, but the thing is that personally for me, I am very glad because I'm so happy. My mind is so decolonized. My mind is so decolonized. That is why I don't see those. That is why I don't see things the way some people see it. To be honest with you, I don't want to say that I'm being proud. I'm not a proud person, but I have deliberately, because it has to be a deliberate act. Yeah. That you say that, okay, now at this point, I am going to say that, or I am going to decide from today that whatever my brother, my sister, my African brother, my African sister is doing, I'm going to support them. I'm going to support them.
Absolutely.
I was extremely tired before coming here. A dog knows my situation. But I said that I can't fail this. When you make a promise, you keep it. And I wouldn't do that, because this is how we get a platform like this where we can get other people to be motivated to do things, to hear these different stories and learn something from it. This has baby steps, but you can never know how much influence even the stories that we are telling today, or what you guys are doing, is having on the people that are watching. They are small
Wow.
things, but we have to. I agree with you that we have to get together. Many attempts have failed. For us in Heat, we are working with different different organizations, all organizations that are in for the African people. We are willing to collaborate with them. We are willing to share our expertise. We are willing to do things together, because, like I said, that a group of people need to start doing things together to set the example. You need to have people to start doing, and then the others will follow. Let's not forget, if I see and I say that you would do it, B says that C should do it, we would never do it. But let us look at, I see an African, I keep asking people, why do we go to an Asian shop and we call it an African shop? Is that an African shop? That's not an African shop.
Yeah.
If you hear that your brother or your sister is having an African shop today, will you go there? You would rather go to an Asian shop than to go to your African shop. What the hell is wrong with us? In all honesty. So we have to learn, first of all, to support our own. But I also understand that because of our colonial past, we come from a kind of communities. Maybe I should say a continent where it has been survival of the fittest. You know, the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. So when you come into a country like this where you feel like, oh, there's a lot to grab, you just want to keep grabbing. And what is the problem we're having at this point is that we are fighting to have a balance between materialism and spirituality. You know, we are letting our material life hanging too much on the things of the world and forgetting even some of the intangibles. I call them the intangibles. We forget some of those things. And this, when we start thinking of the intangible things, then the communities will start to come together. That's my humble plea. And I
Wow.
believe there will be a time for that. Let's keep doing. Everybody should be doing what they're doing. What you guys are doing is wonderful, is excellent. I respect that. I admire it. What Liz is doing, what we are doing, what everybody is doing. We can only feel the impact when we synergize. Do you get the point? When we synergize, that's when the impact would be felt. I go to these different NGOs, the Heart Association, Kidney, Cancer, all of these people. When I have meetings with them, I always talk about the African community. I want to be an advocate for the African community. I want to be an advocate for their health, for their education, their integration. And everybody should be an advocate. But the thing that I realize is that they partition us Africans in small pieces. And because they've put us into small boxes, they don't see us as a large community.
Yeah.
They have to start seeing Africans as a large community, not just Somalians as Africans. Because we are. When the moment they start seeing us as a big community, they will see us the same. They will give us the support that they're giving to the Chinese. They'll give us the support that they're giving to the Arabics. They'll give us the support that they're giving to all the different minority groups in this country. But we have to do the work. And it starts from you. It starts from me. That everybody look at themselves in the mirror and say, what is it that I am doing so that the communities can come together? But before you say that, you have to make a promise to yourself that I am going to decolonize my mind. I'm going to take off those chains that were put by the colonial masters. Because we are doing exactly what they want us to do. That's exactly, it's all a plan. This is exactly where they want us to be. And we're letting them to continuously use us for their own benefit. So it's time for us Africans, I'll say specifically Africans, because we are The moment it's time for us to realize that when it comes to the ladder or the levels, we are always at the bottom end for everything. And why can't we see that? Because this is a challenge for us. So we are going to use it as a learning curve. We are going to use it as an opportunity to show the world that Africans are better than, they're better than what you think they are. They're better than who you think they are. It's that we can use that.
Wow. This is deep. When you speak, it's like we should just allow you to speak. You and Liz, you guys, you guys are really awesome. Like there's lots of information in your brain, but we have to go. We cannot spend the whole day. And I believe that we're going to have you guys here some other time to maybe pick up where you guys, left from today. But we're going to read for some comments. Doc, do you want to read some comments? It's like you have been a little bit quiet. I always love when I hear you speak. So can you speak a little bit?
No, the better. I've just been sitting here and listening to the to what Emma and Liz have been saying. I think we have a lot to think about. As a community, we have a lot to think about. So let's just all absorb that and go home with our homework. But I would like you to read the comment. But before you do that, I don't know if we are ending soon, but I would like Liz and Emma to at least give us some words of advice, encouragement to immigrants who are still trying to find their way in Finland. I know you are doing a lot, Emma, you are doing a lot, Liz, and it takes someone who is in a position of, I don't want to call it comfort. I want to say someone who has found their way, someone who has gone through the challenges and have come out on the other side to do the things that you do. So you can speak from experience. So given your standing right now, I would like you to give maybe what do you have to say to those who are struggling to integrate, to find their way in Finland?
Can I go?
Yes, please, Liz.
Yeah, personally, I would say get out of your own way. You're standing in your own way with your own attitude, with your own thoughts of, oh, these people don't let me do this. No one is stopping you. You are standing in your own way. So whatever you want to do, go out there. There are so many tools. I think Finland is one of the best countries to help you transition from one career to another. They have so many tools in place and practical help. You're not on your own. There's so much practical help in Finland to help you transition from one space to another. So do not be afraid to go for something that you really love to do. Find the tools. Don't be asking your friends. Don't go like, oh, do you know? No, go to the offices. Go go straight to the right places where you can get information about, hey, what do I do if I want to transition to another career? What do I do if I want to change this? I'm afraid that I will lose this and I will lose this. No, there are tools in place to help you transition, and there is great support, even like support money to help you when you want to start a new business or when you want to transition, and this funding. There's so many things in this country that they have nothing but tools in place to help you get to where you want to go. So this is the best place. We need to stop thinking that how are other people able to do? How are other groups able to do so much and we are doing so little? It's because we have fear, and we always come into these small groups and think, oh, I'm just going to hang out with people from my community. What do they know? You have to expand your territory a little bit. Expand yourself, because you took that flight by yourself. When you arrive here, expand yourself. Stop looking just at your narrow, way of looking at life as a small group of people. Expand that. Get out there, network, meet people. I have been to countless events that Emma has organized with other organizations. I have met people. I have connected with new people. I haven't seen many of us there. I see the same faces at events. Same face. We know each other. We all know. I know you, the talk. I know somebody else. I know those people that go. I will see the same faces. They are the ones who are supporting each other. It's a small community because everyone is out there thinking, oh, wanting to be safe. There's nothing to be safe, and there's nothing to be afraid of out there in the world. It's such a beautiful. It's good to get out and explore and get out of your own way. You are standing in your own way. You are your biggest challenge to conquer. So yes.
Wow.
Thank you, Liz. Emma, pour it out, please. Dish it out to us.
This is so on point. What I would say for somebody that has just arrived this country, the first thing I would say is that surround yourself with people who would push you forward than people who would take you backwards. That's very important. Lee said it very nicely. Expand your network. Networking is so important. Have a very good attitude. Very good attitude. Your attitude can make you or can break you. Respect those that have been here before you and get advice from them. Respect those because experience is something that you don't buy. You can only live it. And you can make use of the mistakes that they have made in their journey and you correct them. So it is always an advantage for you that is coming when you meet people that have been here. Go out there. I went to an event where they had like 6 panelists, and I remember all those panelists saying that they got their jobs through networking. They will never went for an interview anywhere. When they heard that there was an event somewhere, they went out. They went out there and just attended the event. Gave your cards to people, gave their telephone numbers, connected with people. And that's how they got to know people. I'm sure the Betong is excellent with that. I'm sure this is something that you can talk even better than me. So it is so important. Set realistic goals. We all have a totally different journey. This is something I want to encourage each and every one of us. Every immigrant in this country has a history, and that history is unique. Your journey is going to be unique. Your goals, how you get to those goals, because you are your own person. You can be the person that will push yourself forward, or you can also be the barrier to yourself, like Liz rightly said. So set realistic goals. Write them down. Sometimes it's good to write your goals down. And you go back to those goals. When you write the goals, you also need to map out how do you achieve those goals. What are the different things that you need to do to achieve those goals? Very important. Now, along the way, be prepared that there will be hurdles, like we said in the beginning. Be prepared that there will be hurdles. But when there are hurdles, do you have people you can talk to? Do you have people you trust? Because it is so important that we also have a network. We also have social contact. We also have friends. Friends who will not betray you. Friends that you can talk to, you can open up to, and you will not be afraid to talk. Because again, when we come from afar to Finland, let's not forget there's a lot that is going on. We are basically going through an emotional roller coaster, whether we like it or not, because the situation is so different from where we come from. Everything is so different. So give yourself time. When you achieve something, appreciate that. Also appreciate yourself. It's very important. Appreciate your achievements, because when you appreciate your achievements, it helps to push you forward. But when you keep complaining all the time, you don't even see that the things you have achieved. You don't see the things you have achieved, excuse me. So sit down, count your blessings. Before you go to bed every day, bring yourself to account. That's what I do. Bring yourself to account and ask yourself, there is no day I go to bed without reflecting on my day's activities. What is it that I did today that was really good? What is it that I would like to change tomorrow? What are some of the mistakes that I did today? Maybe I even spoke to somebody in a way that was not okay. I need to bring myself into account, because when I do that, I become a better person the next day. I'm already setting, out ways to overcome the difficulties that I might have the next day, and also to push forward the things that are working very well. So identify those. What are your own strengths? You need to first of all identify what are your strengths. What is it that you are good at, and what is it that you need some extra or maybe push. Don't do this because A is telling you to do it, but do it because you know in your heart of hearts that yes, you can do this. Don't always go for money. To be honest with you, we all love money, but there are some things that you in fact you will get that is even more than money. There are some achievements that you would get in this life that is more than money. So don't be too money minded, because it blinds you, shields you from some, like I said, the intangible things of life that helps you mentally, psychologically, physically. You lose track of those. So don't focus too much on that. We'll all love it, but don't let it be the thing that guides you. Don't let the thing that guides your actions. Don't let it be the thing that guides your emotions. Otherwise, you become a slave to it. We
Wow.
don't.
Wow.
Again, at the last point, please love yourself and love anybody that crosses your path. Respect anybody that crosses your path. And don't prejudge somebody before you meet them. Don't let some other person's judgment of A be your judgment. Don't let some other person's interpretation of Liz be your interpretation of who Liz is. No. Get to know Liz, get to talk with her, or get to know the Beton, get to do things with him and make your own judgment. Don't be
Exactly.
by other people's judgment. You will go a very long way.
Yeah.
Thank
To
Wow.
add,
Wow. Okay,
to
yeah.
add to that, I would say that I always say that experience people without judgment. Don't judge, don't have preconceived notions about who people are, but experience them.
Yes.
So you can have your own judgment. You can form your own informed judgment about them. Experience the people. They will tell you who they are when you experience them.
And I mean, like what you guys have been like saying a lot here. It keeps reminding me of my own journey. You know, like I remember the first time I did my show, it was like when I look at it, like I mean, it's kind of like, am I the one doing this? But when I look at the progress, the little steps, what I've become today is because of that first moment that I decided that I wanted to do this, to start doing this whole stuff. And I remember my whole last year was just doing networking. I mean, even still now I do networking, and I saw how much network I was able to build, to have, you know, at my disposal. And this makes me to wonder, like in every event I go, I don't see Africans. Where are they? Are they
Mm.
missing? Like, what is happening in our community? So, I mean, that was the reason why I had to ask, like, what are some tools that we need to put in place? Of course, not to, I know there are people whose mind is already like, okay, they're going to be who they are no matter what. But how can we help those who are coming? Those who are still young, who are still coming to the society, And I think in the future we are going to, come up with something that is gonna, be. Of course, I see what Hit is doing, but education, health, business. I'm all about business entrepreneurship. So together we can bring all this, together and build something solid for everyone.
yes.
For
Ab-
everyone. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's about us harnessing our resources, okay? Because like I said, everybody has their own path and they have their own strength. But how do we put all of that together to form something that is solid, That is the challenge we're having, but that's not impossible. I don't want us to leave these shows thinking that that's impossible. That is very, very possible, and I think that we will get there. And actually my biggest, how I would say that my target is not just us, but it's also the second generation. All of us sitting here, we have children, so it's not
Mm,
just about us.
yeah,
It's about the generation that is coming. What
yeah.
kind of what kind of community do we want to, bequeath to them? What
Mm-hmm.
kind of community do we want to bequeath to them? So when we think about that, then we will start making adjustments amongst ourselves, because we have to start the job and then let the next generation complete it, because they are already here.
Yeah.
It's not something we are thinking. The children are already here and they are modeling, they're looking at us as role models, and how we conduct ourselves, how we treat each other, how we talk about, there's really terrible things happening out there. But I really ask each and every one of us to think about, if not just for yourself, let's think about the innocent generation of African immigrants in this country. That what is it that we want to bequeath to them? What kind of future are we hoping for them? Resilience is my watchword. Persistence is another one. Don't settle for less. Settle, always aim high, and be ready to work very hard. Be ready to work 150% to climb that ladder. Be ready that nothing
Wow.
good comes in.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, let's take it to let the comments. Teresa says, Benjamin says we shape our thinking. Um, Max Ngam says career, school, and kids are all possible with a strong support system. I can relate, Emma. You
That's
know,
true.
Bilola says everyone has their struggles, but if your eyes are on the goals, you will always rise and keep walking.
Absolutely.
Let's move forward to Samson Tech. Samson Tanke. He says, so wonderful and inspiring to listen to your stories about work and family and how you manage them all together. Yeah, these are wonderful guests, we have today. Teresa also says, a good support system is very important. Yeah, it's very
Mhm.
important. Christabel says, some people can't handle ambitious people.
Nope.
Okay. Dr. Deborah Fumi Mupapa says, great show. Thanks so much. Christabel says, you have done a great job, Liz. Wow,
Thank
awesome. Liz, everyone is so like, check it up. You're like, you are doing a great
you.
job and keep doing. I remember the first time we met, I mean, how inspiring you have been so far. Deborah says, great, Liz. Um, Nana Boateng says, well done, Liz.
Thank
Deborah also
you.
says, a great show, my brother. Teresa says, despite the unforeseen challenges, you have done well. The essential thing is that you woke up and kept going. I applaud you for that. I think that
Mhm.
was when Liz, you were expressing your challenges,
Mhm.
what you went through and so on. Liz, you are a great mother.
Thank you.
Hallelujah. Well said, Mama Ems from Coliseum. We have Christabel says, Liz, I can relate. You are stronger.
Thank
Wow,
you, my
so many comments here. We're going to take them like so fast. Challenges are
I
opportunities.
guess
Guys, from Christabel. Deborah says, Dr. Deborah says, I love, yes, I love that. You know, great. You are an inspiration, Mama Ems from Teresa Bilola. Um, we have also from Bensi Kiyao. Liz, you have challenged me. Get up and network.
dear. Absolutely.
We also
Yeah.
have from Benjamin Christabel, expand your network. Have a very good attitude. Tell me about that, Mama M's. I am a testimony to that.
Yeah, Mama M.
Wow. Coliseum says this has been the best episode so far. You
Wow.
all have made my day. Thank you and stay blessed. Wow, this is I mean just what my end will say. We don't know who is watching and how impactful it is. This might be to them. We also have Jamie says wonderful show. Simply amazing. And lastly, we have Penrilla Rita, determination, broad mind, accepting failure, and persistence is very important.
Okay.
Wow, this has been so inspiring. I think I missed one comment. Let me just bring it here. Jojoja Fosang was able to transition her way from a nurse and now a student in business law. She did her homework, went to the course, and she is thriving. And
Yeah.
it was so shocking to know that it was possible. Wow.
Mhm.
Guys, thanks so much for,
Every
being here with us. It has been
eh,
amazing.
oh.
Sorry, you are saying something, Mama?
No, what I'm saying is that everything is possible. That's the starting point. That is
Yeah.
why I say that don't let anybody or anyone talk you out of your dreams. It is better. I mean, if your dreams don't scare you, then the dreams are not good enough.
Nope.
Your
I,
dreams be big enough that they scare you and you work towards achieving them.
I think I missed one comment. I have to read it because it's very important. From Collegium, she says it's really sad decolonizing our minds uh, will do us much good. Putting out someone else's candle will not help your own shine more.
Yes.
For example, if you see an opportunity that can help a brother, be quick to bring that to their notice. It does not cost anything. Supporting others' goal is very important to me, and we should all emulate Mama M's. Wow. I remember Colette, whenever she sees something online, she always tag me there. Like she tagged me, like, guy, go and check this out. So I think we have come to the end, of the show today.
1 minute.
I must, I must appreciate everyone. We have to go, Liz. We must go.
We are not in competition. We are in collaboration. So
Yeah,
don't see people as competition.
yeah.
We are collaborating.
Yeah, we have to go. So thanks, Mama Ems. Thanks, Liz Ndegwa, for being here with us today. It was such an awesome opportunity to have you guys. And I will just have Dr. Elizabeth Etat says her last words, for today, or what she have learned today before we go.
Oh my God, the battle today has been amazing, and we couldn't have done this without you, Liz and Mama Ems. Thank you so much for being so true to your
Thank you.
stories, for owning your stories, and for telling your stories just as real as it is.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that when we started this show, it was all about inspiring every one of us. And from the comments today, I can say that the Beton, we are doing a good job. So let's keep going. And thank you all once again for being here. I want to also take this opportunity to thank our audience. You all have been amazing for engaging in this conversation, for taking part in the discussions today. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. So
And
have
never
a
forget the
great
team.
Christmas.
Thank you. And
Enjoy
Merry
your Christmas and be safe, people.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Thank
Thank
you.
for having
Bye bye,
us.
guys. And let's not forget Benjamin Christabel. Also, she has been also
Oh,
behind the
and
scenes.
our co-host, Najame
Oh,
Christabel.
so
Yeah,
guys, bye bye to everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
And
whatever.
Thank you.
Everybody, oh, a show you need to know. Tout le monde, the Beton is that show. Efficient marketing, your networking, motivation. Everybody, come you all. The Beton is that show.
For how long are you going to sit and wait? For how long do you want to share your success stories? Someone out there is waiting for that opportunity. Are you looking for an environment to share your success stories? To share your business ideas? What are you waiting for? The Beton Show is here to answer all your worries. The Beton Show is just toward business innovation, networking, education, and motivation. It creates an environment for business persons like you to share your business ideas and your success stories. The Beton Show creates awareness for business opportunities. It enables you to do proper networking and gain exposure in whatever you do. It creates an online presence and motivate others to keep doing what they love. Do you want to be left out? Follow the Betong Show live every week on Wednesdays and learn new innovative ideas that will make your business grow. Learn how to network properly and what it takes to become a successful business person. The Betong Show is here to change lives. It's here to change mindset. Don't be left out.
Efficient marketing, your networking, motivation, everybody, come you all. The Betong is that show.